So, so my work is really to just help people to come back to the truth of who we are, and in the theme of Christ consciousness, to bring us back to knowing that we are all connected and made of love.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And Phil, are you still listed as, are you still co-host?
I don't know, am I?
I don't know. But I'll go ahead and make you co-host. I'll come on back up. And Jody,
share, maybe not. We'll
okay.
see.
Yeah, so Jody, I'd like for you to help me after I do a quasi-official for Phil. So Mr. Phil Gruber is with us tonight, and I'm so excited to have you back with us, Phil. I want to go ahead and to bring you up, but Phil is featured in the critically acclaimed film, The Indigo Evolution. His passion, enthusiasm, kind spirit, sparkling wit, and intelligence has made him a much-loved, highly respected, and in-demand speaker on the international scene. Okay, so Phil, thanks for being here with us tonight. And before you take over, Jody, do you have anything to add to that? Because I know you and Phil have been friends for a long, long time.
I was trying to figure out how long we've known each other. It's got to be at least 26 years,
Oh,
27
wow.
years, I think.
Awesome.
But yeah, we've known each other for many years, and we've also done a lot of our work together. Together, you know, when we combine efforts, I think with all of us, you know, it just brings it even to a grander experience for everyone. So we're happy to have him here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. And Jody is going to be my co-host throughout the entire month. And so I thank you so much. She's bringing some absolutely phenomenal speakers in, and I want you guys to be sure to join us. So Phil, we're going to go ahead and just kind of let you take the show away. All yours, sir.
All right. Well, first I want to give the I'm here, yes. First, I'd like to reintroduce someone that we all know and love, especially for Stone Hobbit here. I'd like to have Aragorn take the stage for just a moment before I begin. Okay. I see in your eyes the same fear that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day. A day may come when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship, but it is not this day. An hour of wolves and shattered shields when the age of men comes crashing down, but it is not this day. This day we fight. By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand, men of the West. Yeah. All right. Yeah. There we go.
Woohoo!
All right. Well, it's really nice being back on Cosmic Conversations. Thank you for that stirring introduction, Sheila, that I wrote. Okay. The best part was coming, actually. Anyway, and Jody, thank you so much for co-hosting today. It's been a long time since I've cosmically conversed with all of you. Actually, I'm a little bit under the weather. You know, you got to watch out for these word correction apps. I was thinking I wanted to be an influencer, you know, but the universe heard that is give me influenza. So you got to be careful. You always, when you do your text and everything and send you really got to check twice. It's that word correction. Anyway, thank you all for coming today. Like I said, I'm a little bit, but sometimes we have to slow down or just stop. I've been going at full throttle for a very, very long time. And as much as I would like to feel all better, you know, like right away, I think I really needed these few days. I'll be fine, you know, in a day or two. But I think I definitely needed to sort of throttle back a little bit. I've been at breakneck speed for at least the last few years. And I've been working as Santa Claus recently. I'll tell you, in shopping malls here in Singapore, you have no idea how men suffer for children until you've been in a Santa Claus costume for 2 hours at a time. Let me tell you, even with the air con. Anyway, so let's talk about Christ consciousness, because honestly, I don't think there's anything more important that we could be talking about these days. Because, Jody, did you want to start? Did you want to offer a prayer or an invocation or anything before we started?
Everybody here? Okay, everyone, just close your eyes and take a few deep breaths, just to basically get ourselves centered and present to receive what Phil's going to bring through for us tonight. And allow ourselves to all just settle in and settle down, relax. Feel your body just sort of being anchored into the chair or wherever you're sitting. And allow yourself to expand your heart center, the core or the source of all that there is of love. And as you breathe, consciously or unconsciously, you're awakening that part of your heart center and the energy of love that is in all the cells, in everything that makes up the fullness and the wholeness of who we are. So as you breathe, just allow yourselves to open to receive and be received. Ate malkuth vegevora vegedula le'alam amen. I hereby banish from my space and all your spaces, inwardly and out, all energies which are not appropriate, all psychic jamming, all negative emotional energies and memories which are not appropriate. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Ate malkuth vegevora vegedula le'alam amen. The atmosphere around us and through us is cleansed and purified and infused with love. The atmosphere around us and through us is cleansed and purified and infused with so much love. The atmosphere around us and through us is cleansed, purified, and infused with love. And as we breathe and as we are here together, we call in the highest of the Christed frequency that Phil's going to bring forth tonight, of speaking about it and having us understand it more deeply and possibly feel the energy of that. So allow yourselves to just open more than you ever have, of just to be able to receive, but also to know that you're present and your presence is a gift to all of us. So as you breathe, allow yourselves to receive and be received. And know that we're together. As more people come on, we're just forming an entire group of oneness within and without. So take a few deep breaths. Start to come back to normal consciousness, but feeling more open and more at peace. And we welcome Phil Gruber to enlighten us about the Christ consciousness tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Jody. So you can consider this presentation as an active meditation on a meaning of Christ consciousness. Because, our individual healing, the healing of our race, the healing of our intergalactic collective, it's really going to come through an understanding of the common core of creation, out of which all races of beings have emerged. And to know that the secrets, the true secrets of creation, they exist beyond, they transcend any realms of perceived conflict, interstellar conflict. Because the races of higher evolution that have healed the polarities of consciousness within themselves, they understand the true creation dynamics, the physics and the metaphysics of consciousness and creation through which all life is unified. And so the collective healing of extraterrestrial, metaterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial races and earthly races is going to come through a state of cognition that is known as Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is a state of 12th dimensional awareness and electromagnetic polarity balance that comes to us, that will come to us through full activation of our 12-strand DNA diamond sun silicate matrix. That silicate matrix, this was the gift organic to our design, to our original design as the angelic humans, is what is known as the silicate matrix, the 12-strand DNA template that allow us to embody 12 dimensions of consciousness. In other words, to be fully Christed. Christ's avatars, Buddha, Bodhisattvas. So Christ consciousness, it's important to understand, it's not only a spiritual concept, it's a bioenergetic phenomenon. It's a bioenergetic reality. And it takes place through the progressive embodiment of the higher dimensional aspects of our personal identities. And within the many and contemporary stellar races, the Adam Kadmon, the Adumi Kudmon, the original angelic human, the Tournusium, was created, fashioned, designed specifically as a unique multidimensional biospiritual vessel through which the consciousness of all interstellar races could once again unite. Wow. Healing the duality of polarity within their biological and psychological aspects of being. The original human race, the original angelic, immortal human race on Tara, fifth dimensional Earth, was created to be guardians of the Holy Grail, the planetary and interplanetary Templar, the series of interdimensional stargates. And understanding the nature, the fundamental nature of these portals, these doorways, these stairways to the heavenly realms, we will come to know ourselves as divine creations, intrinsically, indelibly divine by the sheer will of our creation. The Adam Kadmon, or the original Adamic race, known as also the Adumi Kudmon, or the Adami Kudmon, with its 12-strand DNA matrix, hold the potentials of consciousness returning to its original form through progressive transmutation into the pre-matter crystalline liquid light form of the higher dimensional fields of the Christos, dimensions 10, 11, and 12. When even in the Bible, when they talk about the seas that we emerge from, they can be talking about terrestrial oceans, but probably they're talking about the seas of liquid light, pre-matter hydroplasm, crystalline liquid silica liquid light, through which we all have emerged and which we find our common core of creation within. In order to take on form, matter form manifestation, all races of beings in time within a time matrix, they must have passed through those pre-matter liquid light stages, the substance of dimensions 10, 11, and 12, upon their entry into individuated biology and identity in time. So the Christos, or collective field of consciousness, that gestalt, exists as the liquid light pre-matter dimensions of 10, 11, and 12, the Cradle of Lyra, or Lyra. Rockabye, baby, on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough or seal breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby, cradle and all. The original meaning of that little rhyme is to know that even though we fall into the bottom of the tree, or have willed ourselves to pretty much start from scratch within a three-dimensional universe, three-dimensional space and time coordinates, we still carry the imprint of the Cradle of Lyra within us, the Holy Grail, the 12-strand DNA pattern that can allow us, through progressive activation of the DNA, into full embodiment of the Christos and the consciousness within. Okay, so again, the Christos, that gestalt, the liquid pre-matter, liquid light, liquid silica, liquid crystal of dimensions 10, 11, and 12, through which all beings manifest in the lower worlds of time, the Christos represents the point of unity between all interstellar races. The point of unity between all interstellar races. Pre-matter identity form shared by all manifest beings. And even though there are many diverse races of biology and consciousness within a time matrix, within dimensionalized systems of time, each of these races emerged through a common seed and a gestalt consciousness of pre-matter liquid light, the Christos. The pre-matter stage of being and consciousness marks the passage from its pure state of meta and ultra terrestrial consciousness, energy radiation of the Rishi, of the Brenna Rishi, pure waveform consciousness above the avatars, 13th, 14th, and 15th dimensional gestalts, Ra collectives, the Ki Rashe, into the densities of space, time, matter, and biological form. So in terms of the stellar drama, the Christos represents the reality fields of dimensions 10, 11, and 12, which correspond to the galactic coordinates of the Lyran star systems within our time matrix. Population of our local time matrix began a very long time ago in our terms of time within the Lyran star systems through a singular race. Hello? Through a singular race. Thank you, April. Through a singular race of pre-matter liquid light beings, collectively called the Lyran founders races. This is one of the Anunnaki here, Leonine, Lyran Anunnaki. Out of the pre-matter energetic codes, the morphogenetic fields of the Lyran founders, came the biological imprints for all interstellar races, founders races. The codes of Lyra from the 12th dimension are carried in human DNA. And once activated, they will allow the body to experience full transmutation and ascension into the liquid light pre-matter meta-terrestrial identity, the bridge between matter, density, space, and time, and the pure radiation of ultra-terrestrial identity forms of eternal cognition and full at one-ment with the God source. So the Lyran star system is known as the Cradle of Lyra by many stellar races because it's the original cosmic nursery, out of which all interstellar races within our time matrix have emerged. To arrive in our present form, each of us as consciousness must have passed through the Cradle of Lyra and into a process we call stair-step creation. Each of us right here, right now, has a portion of our being stationed eternally within the Christos of Lyra. And through fulfilling the 12-dimensional potentials of the 12-strand silicate matrix DNA code, we can embody this consciousness and become Christed. Upon their original entry into time, all stellar races, even those of digressive consciousness, have and had a direct energetic connection connection to and portion of their consciousness stationed within the 12th dimensional liquid light fields of the Christos within the Cradle of Lyra or Lyra. All star systems, including those of Lyra, represent specific coordinates within the multidimensional morphogenetic field of our 15-dimensional time matrix. Each star system corresponds to a specific set of dimensional frequency bands within the 15-dimensional scale. I mean, what is a dimension? A dimension is a frequency band. What is frequency? What is that bandwidth? The frequency is how frequently something has happened. It's the number of oscillations of particles, right? The frequency is the number of oscillations in a given unit of time. So how fast these particles oscillate from sound, from omnipolar sound into bipolar light, electrical and magnetic light, wave and particle light, folding back into sound, from sound to light, sound, light, sound, light. The oscillation rhythm of the particle pulsation rhythm, the frequency is the number of oscillations in a given unit of time. Faster oscillation, higher dimension relative to us, future time. So all star systems, including those of Lyra, represent specific coordinates within the multidimensional fields of our what's called a time matrix, composed of 15 dimensions, sets of 5 harmonic universes, each composed of 3-dimensional frequency bands. So each, again, star system corresponds to a specific set of dimensional frequency bands within this 15-dimensional scale. And each set of dimensional frequency bands corresponds to specific levels of matter density, form, manifestation, and space-time orientation. So, for example, the Lyran star systems correspond to dimensions 10, 11, and 12. The dimensional bands within which consciousness manifests as crystalline, liquid, light, pre-matter substance. The etheric matter star systems of Andromeda, part in 9th, part in the 10th dimension. Orion, 8th dimension. Arcturus, 7th dimension. Then we go into the semi-etheric matter systems of Sirius, 6th dimension frequency bands, Pleiades, 5th dimensional frequency bands, our sun, Sol, part in the 4th, part in the 3rd, and the forgive the expression, but the gross matter systems, not like gross, but gross matter systems, partially the sun, Earth, and the local planets, dimensions 1, 2, and 3. So in our history, beings such as the pure Adam Kadmon Turanusium human, known as Jesus Christ, that many will call Yeshua, have periodically come here to return the 12-strand potential of our gene code, to remind us of the 12-dimensional cognition characteristic to Christ's consciousness, because even beyond the Christos lie vast fields of eternal consciousness that represent the true fulfillment of God realization for all beings in time. And one day, each of us will evolve. It's a done deal. One day, each of us will evolve to return to that true ultra-terrestrial state of being out of which we came. So the dramas you see of human, extra, meta, ultra-terrestrial evolution are simply states of experience we all pass through on our journey home through time. And while we're stationed in these dramas, you see, the awareness of the creation game makes the playing of it much easier. Through the cognition of Christ consciousness, we can all find our unity and the original innocence and purity of being, out of which all of us, human and ET, have emerged from the position of the Christed mind, the awareness of the what we call the stellar substrand DNA matrices and the polarization, the duality of consciousness that they create is a condition to be healed. Humans among us that are the children of even the children of the black sun, reptilian matrices, are not viewed as evil or bad. They are viewed like other beings as portions of the collective Christos that need, perhaps more than any of us, to return to the cognition of their inner light, an indelible value within the full cosmic scheme. The stellar races that have impeded the processes of our earthly evolution due to their own forgetting of and disassociation with the Christos, who intentionally severed their connection to the Christos a long time ago, are simply in need of re-education. And it's through re-education we can all learn the true creation dynamics held within our Christed identities, through which true healing and co-creative freedom can be made manifest. So before we move on to the next section, let's go right to the next section. Okay. How long do I have? I have another, Sheila,
You have at least 30 minutes.
Okay. Okay. I'll take a breath in. All right. Okay. I'd like to, with all your permission, I'd like to facilitate you through a very powerful invocation. This is an invocation of the Maharata. This and the lion's share of this information that I'm sharing with you comes through Yesha, of the Guardian Alliance, the Emerald Order of Melchizedek Cloister. This is the Ma'abhivectus Invoki. This is an invocation of the Maharata. This is a creation decree invocation. You're declaring now as your personal Dimension 12 Christos Avatar Maharata self-identity. So make sure you're all muted here, because if you want to do this out loud, that's fine. You don't have to shout it out. If you want to stay now, you can shout it out, but you can do this like a whisper, like a prayer, barely audibly, or you can do this mentally. So just simply repeat after me. And when it's done, I'll recite it in the original Anuhazi language, okay, which is really lovely. So take a breath. From
Phil,
this,
Phil,
yes?
I'm sorry, before you start, is there an adjustment that you can make on your end, because you are freezing up quite a bit and I don't want people to miss this?
Actually, no, it's just going to be what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, they're doing a lot of construction across the street, and they're really messing with electrical systems, and it's monsoon time here, so we're going through like massive torrential rains and electrical storms. So hopefully we'll get through this without a break. Okay, all right, so here we go. From this still point of my wholeness in manifest decision, I decree in sovereign knowing, here expressed at my command, a lovingly stated absolute intention, the divine will and intention of the one self that is one God. I, as Dimension 12, Christos Avatar Self, say your full names, invoke by divine loving command now, by the power of the universal Christos, the 12th dimensional divine Christos blueprint, past, present, future. Now the divine sea of liquid light. Anchors in the moment. Absolutely now established. Always and forever. In eternal, abiding, reverent love. Of the eternal all one. Blessed be all embracing. Given forth from the still point of eternal peace. Given forth from the still point of eternal peace. Spoken as it is stated, as so it is done. All embracing pillar of first cause light. I, as this expression now, in the name of Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, Iani, Holy Order of the Unified, Sacred House of One. Now, breathe easily and gently, deeply, comfortably. A long time ago, a covenant was made between our founders' races in this time matrix that we call the Brenau, Rishi, ultra-terrestrial consciousness. That life would be allowed to evolve in this time matrix cooperatively, non-competitively, peaceful coevolution. That agreement has come to be known as the Emerald Covenant. L. Frank Baum, the author of The Wizard of Oz, knew this. And he also knew that there was something below your feet made of silver. As you see in the movie, the slippers, Dorothy's slippers were ruby, but in the book, they're silver. Because L. Frank Baum, confirmed theosophist 8 years before he wrote The Wizard of Oz, knew that there was something below your feet made of silver, that if you knew how to use it, you could find your way back home to the Christos, because 12 inches below our feet, when activated, there is something called the Maharic Shield. And the Maharic Shield holds the 10th, 11th, and 12th dimensional aspects of our awareness. The Christos that can be accessed safely within protected fields. Now that Emerald Covenant has been restated many times throughout our history, but 248,000 years ago, the Lyran Anuhazi, here we go again. By the way, I just saw a great documentary on Netflix. You know that song, In the Jungle, the Mighty Jungle, the Lion Sleeps Tonight? That was originally written by a man named Solomon Linda, a Zulu in South Africa. Well, after all these years, they finally won the rights to it. It's a song called Mabubi or something like that. It's like, you know, you had the Tokens in 1961 do it. And Pete Seeger, I think, was the first one who appropriated it, but he did it in a good way. But this Solomon Linda's family never got what they were really due to it. He has 3 living daughters now and their families, and they sued Disney, settled, and now they're getting what they deserve. They got a big chunk of change, and I think enough for it's and more than that. It's what they were due. It was a landmark case. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. That's also that within us, we have the sleeping lion too. We have this Lyran Anuhazi. The founders' races still have left their imprint within us. That was a good segue, wasn't it? So you think I just talk about this stuff just to talk about it? No, it's all connected. So when that Emerald Covenant was restated 240,000 years ago. The Lyra and Anuhazi from the fourth density, dimensions 10, 11, and 12, and the Syrian Azurite, the Sirius B blues, the blues from Sirius B of densities 2 and 3. We're talking about angelic and archangelic races on behalf of the fifth density, what we call the Branau orders, the Rishi. This gift was a massive library of information that dealt with the true history of our time matrix, creation physics, ascension mechanics, the mechanics of operating the interplanetary Templar complex. And this gift existed as a set of 12 small holographic recording discs called the Dora Torah, D-O-R-A-T-E-U-R-A, the Dora Torah, or the Eternal Dora Torah, or the Cloister Dora Torah. Now, many beings throughout time were conscripted. Is that the right word? No, that's when you get drafted, isn't it? Right? They had the contracts to translate either directly or remotely the information, the massive information contained within these 12 holographic discs, these Dora Torah plates, ones that we know of. I mean, very famous ones, Thoth, Enoch, beings like that. But between 42 BC and 5 BC, the density 5, the Emerald Order, the Branau, the Rishi, the Azurites, and what's called the Iani Council of Inner Earth once again attempted or intervened in an attempt to redirect human evolution back to its original course of freedom. In 12 BC, a member of the Iani Council, Yanas, beyond the time matrix, incarnated on Earth as an Essene out of the House of Solomon, avatar by the name of Sananda, which we know now as Yeshua Sananda Melchizedek, who carried the 12-strand DNA template of the original second density angelic Taranturunusium angelic human lineage. This Jeshua 12 entered Earth incarnation with two other Iani Council Yanas, his half-sister Kananda, Miriam, in 5 BC, and a Roman Hebrew who became known in later biblical distortions as John the Baptist, whose true name, Azuria. Yeshua 12 authored the books of process, 6 huge volumes detailing sacred science mechanics of the interplanetary Templar complex, the mechanics of Stargate ascension. Miriam authored the 3 books of the cloisters detailing temple life and the sacred science practices and the light, sound, DNA activation codes, right, of the temples. And this is why the Marys, the councils of Marys, the circles of Marys, Mary Magdalene, they were members that they were Benjamin, of the Benjamin tribe. The other tribes, they call them the what's that name again? I'll remember in a second. Blue. The reason they were so, like the abominations, and the reason they felt they were because they were the spawn. The Benjaminites were the spawn of the fallen angelics, the Anunnaki, right, the Nephilim, and human females. But given that they were hybrids, that they were the spawn, the Raelim or the Raphaim, daughters of rape, they had special. There are things they could do with their expanded gene codes. They create very special biochemistries within their bodies, given their advanced gene codes, being the spawn or being the progeny of angelics and human women, which is why they were trained since childhood to be these temple priestesses, to be these Vestal virgins. Listen, when Jesus was looking for a mother, he scanned the world looking for a virgin. The higher meaning of the word virgin means a creative energy in a female form that lives in a state of innocence. In other words, a woman with no karma. What good would it have done? what in the fulfillment of his mission and others to be born through a woman that still had unresolved karma. So this is what we're all trying to do in our way, is return to a state of innocence, to heal our thoughts, to learn the true meaning of forgiveness and gratitude. Okay? So you have Yeshua authoring these books of process. Look at these libraries. They make the Vatican Library look like your neighborhood library. They're vast underground caverns. Greg Braden and others have taken photographs. This I've seen in my life. Libraries, massive libraries, generations and generations of monks and nuns transcribing and retranscribing the information held within these Dora Torah plates. The books of process, the books of the cloisters, prior to the books of Yeshua and Miriam, the man historically known as John the Baptist had begun translation of the Dora Torah plates in 10 AD, following the Melchizedek baptism of Yeshua before he was murdered by the Romans. John had begun translation of the original Emerald Covenant, the Emerald Covenant of Aramatena. This was the creation contract through which the Brenau founders races seeded life into this time matrix 950 billion years ago. That's just the last seeding of life into this time matrix. And it wasn't in the Big Bang either, I assure you. In a cooperative attempt to reinstate the Emerald Covenant coevolution on Earth, in 7 BC, the Emerald Covenant Nibiruurian Anunnaki entered a density 3, an oversoul avatar, into the Essene family lines. He carried the 9-strand DNA template through which the Anunnaki human races could evolve from out of density 1, out of these mortal coils, out of being biologically phase-locked here in this first density. He was named Yeshua. He, born to Mary and Joseph of the house of David. Many call him, it's very hard to pronounce, Yeshua, 9. So these two concurrent Essene Christs, they left a lot of teachings. Yeshua 12, first, the blonde, I believe. The translations of the Emerald Covenant, Dora Torah for the Earth human lineage. Yeshua 9 left behind teachings of the Nibiruurian Council, intended just similarly to the Indigo Type 3s to assist the the Anunnaki human races in their evolution into the Emerald Covenant coevolution agreement. Yeshua 12 left behind the primary Christed Holy Grail genetic lines, ascended, I believe, in 27 AD to second density Tara. In 25 AD, Yeshua 9 was exiled to France with his family. He was on that boat too, make no mistake about it. With his family, later ascended in 47 AD, then to Nibiru with the help of the Nibiruurian Council. And it would seem that a man named Arahabi, a Hebrew man who closely followed the teachings of the second Christ, was crucified in 26 AD to divert attention away from Yeshua 9's exile. Is Mariana here on the call today? Mariana, are you here?
No, I don't
Okay.
see her.
All right. Well, I'll at the end, if you leave me a minute to make an announcement, a very important announcement of a couple of really cool trips next year. Before I do that, I have about 10 minutes or so left. Now we're going to continue this in a lot more depth, considering that this month is the theme is Christ consciousness, rather than just laying a lot of this general broad strokes and some potentially controversial information. We're going to continue this. I believe it's Sheila on December 15th, on Thursday.
Correct.
We're going to continue this conversation about Christ consciousness with some very special processes to assist in the facilitation of that activation of that 12-strand DNA template. When dealing with the DNA, you have to be very, 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 very careful. In other words, you really have to know what you're doing, you know? I want to continue with the invocation of the Maharata, but it's in its original language. Okay, a language that's known as Anuhasi. So take a breath. I will do it twice. Maharata Kumbai Vectus. Say or think your names. In Evo Kayuni Bleum by Vecti. Ma'a by Vecti. Un ore or namur. Isteum ta isa trachahera. Hitateum ashelom taeja in tandoe. Shaddai urea kuntan. Shaddai urea kuntan. Shaddai urea kuntan. Maharata kumbai vectus. In evo kayuni bleum by vecti. Ma'a by vecti. Un ore or namur. Isteun ta isa trachahera. Pitateum ashelom thaeja inta doe. Shaddai urea kuntan. Shaddai urea kuntan. Shaddai urea kuntan. Breathe easily and gently. It's important to understand, and this information is given for your consideration, certainly, that the original human design itself is of extraterrestrial origin. It is angelic in nature, and that humans originally inhabited the second density, dimensions 4, 5, and 6, time fields of Earth. Or Earth is known as Tara, a planet called Tara. And the original Taran Taranusium, angelic human, is called the Taranusium. And if you know a lot of Scottish Irish Gaelic, those songs take on a whole nother meaning. Turaluralura, Turalurala. They are songs that help us understand our true genetic lineages. When we understand who we are, where we come from, why we're here, and what we're supposed to do, this is the true evolutionary path of human consciousness, to fulfill our true evolutionary objectives and true evolutionary biological imperative. Evolutionary biologists think it just stops with us, but no, it's to master the physical art of ascension, physical mastery over the ascension process. Why? Freedom. Freedom to extend love to all of creation. Earth's humanities, our true genetic stellar heritage, can be found within our DNA. All the answers to be found in our DNA, what we call the substrand matrices, right? They are the scalar wave templates that make up the blueprint for the human DNA. In the Earth human lineage, known as the Adam Kadmon or the Adumi Kudmon, there were 7 root races, and 5 what we call cloister races were seeded. Each root race evolutionary cycle developed one of the first 5 strands of DNA within the 12-strand template. Cloister races, the latest expression of which is the indigos, type 1, type 2s. There are many indigos that carry more than the 12-strand template, 12 to 24 and 24 to 48 strands, type 1s and type 2s. But the indigos, again, the latest expression of these cloister races who carry the 7th through the 12th strand template corresponding to the higher dimensional density systems. The incarnates of the root races are the earth seeds. The incarnates of the cloister races are the star seeds. It has been the cloister races that have kept the 12-strand potential, DNA potential, alive within the human gene pool and represent the advanced stages of evolution. But realize that throughout the course of human evolution and Earth human history, there's been a lot of hybridization with various interstellar races, creating many, many varieties of star seeds among the Earth seed race populations. It's a very, very complex story, but it is the story of ourselves. It is the story of who we are. And when we discover who we are, when we realize that we're feathers in each other's wings, like we said in the beginning, when we understand that there is a common core of creation through which all races are united, then we'll be on that path. And the evolutionary path of human consciousness is to learn or relearn the true science of ascension, which is multidimensional identity integration, which is progressively embodying and integrating to the higher gestalts of consciousness, freedom to explore, freedom to extend love to all creation. Yeshua did part of it. But remember, every time a being incarnates on this planet, we leave an imprint of our DNA at the core of the earth, at a massive stargate or a sub-stargate called the Halls of Amenti, or the Heavenly Gate, St. Peter's Gate, before we come into fetal integration. And for those people that see the 11:11 on the clock, I do all the time, it probably means that we started this incarnational journey not from the past. I have no resonance with past lives, only with future lives. Many of us do, that we have no resonance with. What I think a lot of the time we're doing is we're mistaking past lives with lives that are simultaneous incarnations of ourselves that have been placed in various space-time coordinates. But we'll get more into that on the 15th. Hopefully, Jody will come back and join us. Mariana Hernandez, we haven't finalized the dates yet, but we're going on a journey into France, probably late May, early June. The dates are going to be set probably within a few days. This trip is going to be really special, not so much where we're going, but what we're going to be doing when we get there. So we're planning a trip, probably going to start with the Gypsy Parade in the Camargue there in around May 17th, 19th, something like that. But it's going to be a very special trip. I'll be facilitating it along with Mariana Lee Hernandez. And I think for maybe the first time or one of the first times, if you can't physically go on the trip, you can join us virtually on this trip and participate in all the processes and the workshops we're going to be doing. But better to go there, and we're going to try our best to make it affordable. Why make these things, especially in this time now where a lot of people are challenged? We want to make this as affordable as possible. And we're planning a trip to Israel, to the Holy Land in September, October. So those are the two trips we have planned next year. We'll talk more about that on the 15th. But when we leave an imprint of our DNA at the Earth's core, it was necessary for these indigos to come in to fulfill that mission. When enough of us have been able to incarnate in the body here, those of us that have started from the 11th dimension, Lyra, a place that used to be called Avion, which I believe now is known as Avalon, 11th dimensional Lyra, Avalon, the true Camelot, which is manifested or mirrored down here is Glastonbury, Sea of Glass, right? Liquid-like fields of the Christos mirrored down here. Enough of us have been able to enter incarnation. Enough of us have been able to leave our imprints within the planetary core that all incoming souls now have that same potential to be Christed, to achieve Christ consciousness, which is that 12th dimensional level of cognition and love, that love that knows no earthly bounds. So I think we're going to have a few minutes to take questions, is it?
Yeah, we'll do that. At the end, we're going to go ahead and close, but then we're going to open up for Q&A. So Phil, do you have any final comments that you want to leave with people?
I'm just looking through the chat really fast. Well, I hope I did a pretty good job the last hour.
Awesome as always.
No, thank you. It's a little bit under the weather, but you know, Sheila, it always happens that when the call comes, you know, I'm always up to it. You know, Sheila asked me if I was going to be up to it today, you know, but no matter what, I wasn't going to miss this. I wasn't going to miss another chance to share with you and to feel your love again, or just your participation in this galactic alliance, in this amazing, you know, it's there's many points of focus at this time that we group around. They're like strange attractors, you know. And these strange attractors, these points of focus, they allow us to really to come together as a group, focus our collective energy. And we do have common evolutionary goals. Yes, at the end of the rainbow, we may have our little private fantasies and maybe even along the way. But we do have a common evolutionary path and a common core of creation. And it's in our DNA. All the magic and the mystery is in our DNA. So I would, as a last message, I would just say, be good to yourselves. Learn the true meaning of forgiveness. If you feel you've been violated, probably the most valuable thing I can share with you is if you feel you've been violated, you've been naive or ignorant or just plain stupid enough, God bless you all, to have been violated, or if you have violated because of your ignorance, apologize. The word apology means it means not many. So when you apologize, you are reaffirming oneness. And with progressive apology, as stated in the Pistis Sophia, Mary Magdalene through Jesus, you are placed in a position of never having been separated from the oneness. That's how powerful forgiveness is. It just may be the most powerful force for healing in this world. Forgiveness and gratitude together. And gratitude just for the gift of being able to be conscious enough to reflect on maybe something we thought we did wrong or some violation, and forgive ourselves and then forgive others. Make peace with yourselves. Try it. You'll like it. You know, that's one spicy meatball. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Phil.
You
always crack me up.
But you know, funny, we'll have to find our funny in this. But we also, there's a gravity to this, and there's a seriousness to this, but there's also living your bliss. Work with your solar plexus. Be able to access the depth of feeling that you need to manifest your dreams and your true heart desires. You know, breathe deeply and comfortably. Abdominal breathing will activate the solar plexus, and that is the gateway to the subconscious mind and the gateway to the true treasury. Master Key Lesson 1. You know, look online for a PDF scanned copy of Charles Haanel's Master Key. There are many places to get it and work it. It's a 24-week program, one lesson a week. I think in a few months, I'm going to be facilitating all 24 lessons through the Portal to Ascension. So we'll see how that happens. And anyway, I'll be back for Sheila. It's in Sedona. I will be coming stateside in what's the date of that?
It's April. I'm sorry, it's in March.
Yeah, in March, like 17th or something.
17th, 18th, 19th, something like that. Yeah.
So I'll be coming in from Singapore. I'll be back in the States. I'll be back in the States for a couple of months, probably starting with that retreat. So it'd be wonderful, wonderful to meet you all, you know, or most of you or all of you when I'm stateside. That would be just wonderful, you know.
Well, that would be wonderful.
Susie, I'm gonna FedEx you a pair of gloves, man. You know, you could do some biodynamic healing on Susie's fingers there or something.
I'm telling you, it's cold. I've got these Navajo gloves that are for design. I'm wearing them just to keep warm. Where is it, Sedona?
We still need you to tap on the old ivories there. We don't want you getting bad case of frostbite there. So, you know.
Okay, well, Phil, thank you so much. And for all of you that's here, kind of hang out. we'll come back on for some Q&A. Jody, do you have any closing remarks for tonight?
I've heard him speak about this before, and it's great to hear it again so that it goes in deeper. About forgiveness, one of the things I wanted to mention is you don't have to be in front of the person to forgive them or to forgive yourself, I mean, with yourself, but you can do it just in a meditation and talk soul to soul, and it works as well. But I agree with that. I think that really lets go of all this stuff that people carry around that keeps us apart. So I always love that the end of this, of coming back together in that way. So
Beautiful.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Jody, for being here
And
tonight.
listen, God bless you, Sheila, for
Phil.
all the work you're doing. Wow. God bless all of you. And Sheila, all the work you're doing, I can't even imagine
Mm,
with
well,
the can, with
thanks.
Alliance, with, man, it's just, you know, my hat's off to you.
Yeah,
You
well,
know.
thanks so much. And I was going to say, for everyone here tonight, if you have not yet already visited the Conscious Awakening Network website, please do so. You can also download the app from the iOS phone stores, Google, Apple, or even the Android apps. You can download the Conscious Awakening Network app. And we're also found on social media, where we're playing live right now, as well as on our Facebook page. But also we now are going out and podcasting on all major networks there as well. So you can catch us at a lot of different places. So one of the main goals for us is to help to spark those spiritual awakenings and be able to support people that's already on their path. And we can't think of anything more important than this educational component for people. So thank everyone for being here tonight. We're going to go ahead and close out, but we are going to open back up to the audience for Q&A. So until we are back together again next week, I say namaste to everyone. Much love and have a beautiful and